here with the IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World Champion Jai OPETAIA. Jai, you've just announced that you'll be fighting here at the Gold Coast Convention Centre on January 8th. How excited are you to be back here defending your belts?
Exciting, man. It's good to be here, good to be fighting back at my home. You know, I honestly live not even 10 minutes down the road, you know what I mean? So I've just moved up to the Gold Coast, and it's just exciting to be back here in Australia and be able to have my whole support team come watch me and just be back in Australia. You know, it's a good feeling. So.
Well, that's it. It's the first time since 2022. Now, you've built quite the fan base in the UK, even the Middle East, being on some of the biggest fight cards that boxing can even offer fans. Would you like to come back to Australia more frequently as a champion?
Definitely. You know, I'd love to be able to bring big fights here in Australia. You know, I'm excited to see what the future holds. You know, we got a big fight January 8th. You know, this is a big fight. I believe he's a great fighter. He's ruthless. He's dangerous. He's fast. He hits hard. So, you know, we've got a hard camp ahead of us. We're going to be prepared for war on January 8th. So yeah, and then we're going to get this job done first. You know, I'm not looking past him, but you know, after this fight, we want to bring more Australian fights here too. So.
Yeah. Now, for your last campaign against Jack Massey, you made a switch in trainers back to your father. How's that going back under his tuition? And how's that going?
Yeah, it's good. You know, I feel like we're getting back to the skills and back to the basics and you know back to the boxing. You know, for a while there, I was just trying to take everyone's head off and throwing haymakers and trying to hurt people all the time. But now we're sort of going back to, you know, what got us there, which was the boxing and the skills and you know, I've always got that sort of brawling in the back pocket. You know what I mean? When it's time to bite down on the mouth guard, we know what to do. But you know, I can control these fights. I can fight smart and you know get hit less, take less punishment. So that's what it's about.
Now, Cinkara, he's worked himself up into the mandatory position. Have you sat down and had the chance to watch much footage of his previous fights?
I have. I've watched some of him, you know what I mean? I'm not a massive study type of dude. I just watch bits and pieces and then, you know, once I've thought I've had enough, I'm like, all right, that'll do. And then, you know, if I feel like watching it again, I'll go back and watch a few more things. But he's good, man. I'm not taking him lightly. I know he's going to come to fight too. You know, these Turks are always tough. You know, they always love a scrap. So it's exciting, man. And I feel like it's a good opponent too because he's going to come to fight and to have it here in Australia. We don't want easy fights. You know, we want to earn it. We want to, you know, these are world title fights. When you're fighting world title fights and the mandatories and stuff like that, none of them's easy, you know, so it's exciting. We're pumped.
Now, stylistically, has he got anything special that really stands out to you at all that you haven't faced throughout your career?
It's hard to go off because he hasn't fought anyone like me, you know what I mean? Like everyone that I've watched him fight, they just stand in front of him and he just punches the shit out of him pretty much. But when people fight me, I'm a different ball game, you know what I mean? You know, feet work, movement, I got speed, I got power, so you know, I'm just looking to sort of tick every box, and when the fight comes, anything we need to do to win that fight, we'll be prepared to do.
Now, in the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, you rarely see fighters with the athletic ability and footwork that you possess. What kind of advantages does that give you in the ring, and does that give you a sense of control over your opponents?
Yeah, I guess, but it's just we train for it, you know. We practice foot, we practice, you know, fitness, you know, moving, being light on your toes. I feel like it's more the science of the sport, you know. Skills pay the bills, and that's what we focus on. Is you know, boxing. It's the art form of the fighting. You know, hit and not get hit. You know, counter when need a counter. So I don't know. We're not perfect. You know, we still got a lot more to learn and a lot more to. You know, we got to get better at what we do.
Yeah. Now, when you fought Jordan Thompson, you took him straight in the deep waters. Morris Bradis, you were a bit more selective with your approach. Jack Massey, you broke him down. What kind of OPETAIA are we expecting to see on January 8th?
I'm not sure. You know, I'm just training for anything that needs to be done. You know, any version I need to turn into to beat him is what I'll do. But you know, we adapt in the ring. I'm going to go off his sort of body presence. how aggressive he is, you know, if he's going to come forward or he wants to stand there and sort of box a bit. Well, we do what we got to do, but as long as we're fit enough to do whatever we need to do in that ring and adapt to anything we need to adapt to, we're good.
Now, we know your full focus is on HUSEYIN Cinkara for January 8th. We've just had CBS and Zerto fight for a unification bout. Gilberto Ramirez was successful in that bout. What was your thoughts on that fight?
It's a good fight, man. They're both decent fighters, you know what I mean? They're fucking punch the shit out of each other, eh? They're just, both of them all battered and bruised. You know, CBS, I think he freaking had broken bones and face swollen. He's a tough bastard, you know, you can't deny that. His toughness and will to win is what's won him a lot of his fights, you know. So you got to take your hat off to him, but I'm just excited to sort of fight for a unification. You know, I'm not looking past this guy. I've got to train hard and do what I've got to do to win. And then, yeah, we can talk about fighting one of them once our job's done.
Now, back to more Australian news. We've got Liam Parrow going over to Puerto Rico 2 weeks out against Richardson Hitchens. What's he got to do to get that done?
Man, same shit. Train hard. I'm a big believer in the fights won before, you know, you even get into the ring. You know, the sort of fight itself is it's after all the preparation, you know what I mean? And especially when you're at that world class, when you're both good fighters, it really shows. So, you know, I'm backing him all the way. I'm excited for Liam Parrow, and to be there, getting this recognition and fighting on these world class fights, man, it's awesome for him, and I'm pumped.
Now, I'm not really sure, you're under the Matchroom banner as well as Tasman?
Yeah, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Golden Star and Tasman.
Now,
Tasman, yeah.
Yeah, well,
We're all working together, and I feel like that's what's the main important thing. You know, we're all sort of trying to get these unification fights to happen. So it's good to have more than one person on my team. You know what I mean? So it's exciting.
Yeah. Now, Eddie himself, he's starting to build quite the Australian collection. He's got Sky, just announced George Kambosos yesterday, Liam Parrow and yourself. Is that an ideal fight card you'd like to see?
100%. You know what? I've been, even when I first started my pro career, man, I always thought like just having all the top, you know, professional boxers for Australia fight, you know, people from overseas and have a full Aussie bash, like, would just be sick. You know what I mean? Like, they do it on the UFC, you know, like something like that, and just have all these boys just going freaking nuts. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what it's about, and it just pumps me up talking about it. I'm starting to sweat and shit, you know. Yeah. So it's awesome, man, and even to know that these things are close, you know, and they could be getting made. It's awesome. It's good for Australian boxing.
No, that's it. And we've also got Sam Goodman going over the fight Naoya Inoue on Christmas Eve in Japan. What's Sammy got to do? It's a big task, but what's he got to do?
Big task, man. I'm backing Sammy all the way. I've always been a massive Sam Goodman fan. You know, I love his style, his work rate, his distance. I've always admired his boxing skills. You know what I mean? Like there's that sweet science of boxing. You know what I mean? And he's got a lot of great tools. You know, so the guy he's fighting's good too, though. You know what I mean? So he's got to be on his game. Minimise mistakes, you know, very minimal mistakes, and I'm hoping he comes home with a win, because something like that would be huge. So I'm backing you all the way, Sammy. Let's go.
That's it. Thank you for your time.